This is Chef Tbsp from the Chef to You. Welcome to my kitchen. You like soup? I do. I enjoy eating soups, and I sure like making soups too. Being able to take the different ingredients and mesh them together, slow cooking, a lot of good variety and flavor in there. A lot of fun. I'm going to talk about a soup today. Now, a lot of ingredients. It's really delicious. Ham and potato soup. This soup is good the first day, and it's good if you just warm up some a little at a time. It gets better day after day. Let's take a look at our ingredients to get started. We don't have a lot of ingredients today. We're going to use 3 cups of milk, 3 cups of chicken base, 4 tablespoons of butter. We got a 1/4 cup of flour. We got 4 large potatoes cut about 1/2 inch dice, about a pound of ham cubed up. We have 1 onion cut a large dice because we want to be able to see that in the soup when it's done. A little bit of black pepper. We'll add some salt if we need to towards the end. Very simple dish. Let's go ahead and move to the pot. We'll start with our onions and with our melted butter. We're not going to saute today. We're going to sweat. The difference is when we saute, we brown. Sweating, we're trying to pull the natural flavors out of the ingredients. We're not looking for a browning. So we're going to saute this for about 2 minutes, and then we'll add the ham. Let's look at our ham real quick before we put it in the pot. I like to use a smoked ham. This came about a 1/4 inch thick slices, and I cubed it up. Let's go ahead and dump it in there. And again, we're not trying to brown this ham. We're just trying to draw the natural flavors out. So we'll give this 2 or 3 minutes. Let me talk while I got the stirring this ham here. You can also use, say you have Thanksgiving, or you cook the ham on a Sunday. You have some ham bone left over, some meat on it, and then you froze it. You bring it out, take the 3 cups of chicken stock you have, and you can simmer that for about an hour in the chicken stock to get that meat nice and tender. Cut it off, use that ham, and that great flavor that came off of that, the marrow in that bone will be great in this soup too. Can you use turkey ham? Sure you can. Use it the same way as you were using ham. I don't use country ham a lot of times, the drier country ham, because it doesn't have that smoky flavor that I'm looking for. This ham really gives a good flavor. Customers and friends really enjoy it this way. So we're going to give this a couple minutes, and we're going to add our potatoes. We've sweated our onions, we've sweated our ham. Now we add our potatoes in. Some of you are thinking, what are you doing, Chef? You don't sweat potatoes? Sure you do. What we're going to do is we're going to draw that natural flavor out of these potatoes. And it's going to mesh with the ham and the onions. It's going to give good flavor. We're going to do this for about 5 minutes. Let's reach over here and grab a black pepper and put that in there also. I'm adding no salt because I got salt in the ham that is cured with, and I also got salt in my chicken base. So I'm not going to be adding any salt to the end of this until the end of this dish. So we're going to keep stirring this and sweat this. It's going to draw that natural flavor of the potatoes and the ham and the onions. And it's going to mesh really good before we even add our stock and our milk. We let our potatoes saute with our ham and our onions. Please don't skip this step. Don't think, well, I'll just throw them all together, throw the broth on there, and go right into the final step of letting it simmer. Don't do that, because you can smell the aroma right now. This is just with these 3 ingredients in here. It's like wow. So this is very important, this sweating process. Now our next step, we're going to take a 1/4 cup of flour and sprinkle over top of these potatoes. You want to do this in a fairly quick, because we don't want to brown this flour at all. It's going to tighten this up real good. It's going to grab all the moisture. But we're going to add our broth and our milk in just a minute, and it's going to thin it back out. And what's going to do as it slowly cooks, let's go ahead and our broth real quick, and I'll explain it to you. This is the milk and the broth mixed together. Stir this up really well. Now you want this a lot of potatoes, a lot of ham. You don't want this brothy. You see there's not much broth before you hit potatoes in this pot right here, and it's very important. Let me explain that flour to you one more time. The reason we put the flour in there is this soup cooks, that flour is going to help tighten the liquid. And yes, we're going to get a little bit of starch from our potatoes, and so between the two that should tighten it where we need to. We may have to tighten it at the end, but I'm not sure. We'll double check that when we get there. Okay, so what we're going to do is bring this to just below a boil. We're going to put a lid on it, turn it down to low, and a low simmer to a boil. So what we're going to do now is going to turn it down on low. We're going to put a lid on it, let it cook without taking the lid off for 1 hour. My ham and potato soup is ready, I let it simmer for an hour, then I turn the heat up a little bit, brought it almost to a boil, then make sure it thickened up to where I wanted to. My soup's ready. I'm getting ready to boil it up. What I like to do is stir my soup up and dip from the bottom and bring it up. That way make sure I get plenty of broth and all the good ingredients that are in there. Just a pinch. See, the potatoes are still whole pieces, but they're nice and tender. You got the celery and onions in there. I'm going to take this cheese, put it right here in the center. Now you can, if you want to, add a cup of cheese to the soup right at the very end. Put a little bit of parsley on that plate. As it gets any better than this, is good winter soup, really anytime soup. It just warms you all the way to the bones. A delicious soup. Great with this cheese. You put some croutons with this. Nice grilled cheese sandwich. Can't get any better than that. This is Chef Dave Bishop, cooking and teaching. Until next time, may God bless.